Hello guys and welcome to my new video. So I previously made a video about the best healers in patch 7.25 and today I'm going to basically cover the best healers in a 5-man scenario. So if you're a kind of player that's looking to push high mythic keys and basically wondering will my class be viable in 7.2.5, this video might shed some light on some of the aspects that have changed for each of the class and my personal opinion on what could be the best classes for 5-man content in the next patch. So basically comparing the current situation with healers, Holy Paladins and Resto Druids, if you actually look at WoW progress and see at high mythic keys, they are dominating in that scene. Resto Druids and Holy Paladins are the only ones that actually have done, I think, the mythic plus 25, the highest keys. And they're the only ones all the way down to like 21. And after that, you get the mix of all the other healers, shamans, this priest, holy priest, mistweavers, and things like that. But for the really high keys, it seemed to be that Resto Druid and Paladins were the king. But in 7.25, we can assume that Holy Paladins is still going to be there because there hasn't been very major changes made to Holy Paladins. They're still very good. The things that make a healer very good in 5-man content is survivability, CC, things like combat reses, stun slows, pushbacks, ability to heal up people too. Based on the affixes for Grievous, you need someone who can top up people to full. So Holy Paladins kinda have one of the best toolkits as well for that. Not only they have really good single target healing, but they also can actually push really high DPS. They obviously will sacrifice healing talents for kind of like a DPS bursting talents, which will lower the overall healing by increasing their DPS. But for a lot of the high mythics, even if you have a good group, that burst DPS means the boss dies sooner, means there's less healing to be done, means there's a tree chest. So Holy Paladins is still going to be very, very, very strong in Mythic Plus content. Arguably one of the best ones, depending on how other classes are going to change and how they're going to. Basically, we have to see for things like this priest how they're going to do. But covering back to Resto Druids, Resto Druids received a lot of nerfs in this patch. Cultivation 16%, nerf a base minus 4% to all healing spells for Resto Druids. On top of that, the tier set is really not that great for mythic content, and also the legendary shoulders have been nerfed. Legendary shoulders are not a huge deal in 5-man scenarios. They're more of a kind of a convenience thing where you can actually keep rejuvenations always up. So it's not a huge deal. The 4 set is not a major setback as well because we're only using 2 set for 7.2, which increased our mastery every time we use wild growth. Right now, the tier 24 set, the 2 set is quite bad. The 4 set it requires to use a fluorescence, which in 5-mans can be really hard to manage, but it kind of becomes like a burst heal. So you don't really care about the mana in 5-man situation because you can drink between each pull, or you should be able to drink if your tank lets you. So anytime you pop Swiftman, you can probably just use a fluorescence and heal up the party if they're in a close proximity. These changes, I don't think they're going to affect Resto Druids that much in 5-man content because I feel that synergy between the spells is what makes a lot of the healing classes what they are. Resto Druids have an amazing synergy with rejuvenation. Of course, this synergy is going to be reduced when the 4 set is gone, when the tier 19 4 set is gone, and when the shoulders are gone. But still, the synergy between rejuvenation and mastery for Resto Druids, where you can keep hots up and multiple hots up on everyone. Mastery is going to increase your healing. The more mastery you have, the more healing you do. Then you can stack haste for quicker heals. I feel Resto Druids are still going to be in a really, really good position for 5-mans. Now, the interesting part is how are the other healers going to compare? The biggest change out of any healers in 7.25 came to disciplined priests. They spec have almost been reworked. Like the playstyle has been made not simpler but more enjoyable to play, I guess. And like I said, even if they had any mana issues, the damage has been buffed. mana does not really matter in 5 months, and if mana becomes an issue, but still not completely sure yet, 5 months doesn't matter. I feel that this priest could do really well in mythic content because they also provide nice DPS, they have utility, and they're going to have nice burst healing and things like that. So I feel a good this priest could push really high keys. I feel there's going to be much more disciplined priest pushing high mythic keys in 7.25, seeing that the spec has been almost reworked really a lot in this patch, which I think is a very positive thing towards the healing class. Things like, we can move on to another class that got significant buffs. Mistweaver Monk has received like a 4% healing increase to most of his healing abilities, which is probably a well-deserved buff. They also got a kind of buff to tier 24 set, which is mediocre to good, I guess, depending on how well you can use it. But I feel Mistweavers could become a bit better. I'm not sure if it's going to push them really a lot. I mean, Mistweavers have a lot of stones and things like that. They're super mobile. They can heal on the go, and they can heal stationary and things like that. They have a really nice toolkit, but I feel there's some synergy missing between the spells to really excel the class into the top tier mythic content. I feel like, again, these buffs are going to make the existing Mistweavers try to push higher keys. We will most likely see more higher keys push from Mistweavers. I'm just not sure if they're going to be at top tier even after these changes. Now we go back to the other classes like Resto Shaman, which didn't really receive anything. Resto Shamans are very immobile healers in a way. Not only that, they also have kind of slow heals. So it depends. It really depends on the affixes you get. Grievous really does not work for shamans that well. A good Resto Shaman can push really high keys. At the end of the day, Resto Shamans have amazing utility. They're only healing class that actually has an interrupt on very short cooldown. They have a stun. They have very good healing cooldowns. They have Spirit Link, which can reset. We can reset stacks, necrotic stacks, and things like that. So Resto Shaman can actually push high even without the change. Their tier 24 set is highly revolved around stacking up healing rain, which I feel is not going to be that great in Mythic 5-mans. But I still feel Resto Shamans are going to be in a decent place. I feel I feel at the end of the day, Resto Shamans going to perform much better in raid scenario rather than 5-man scenario. And now we go back to the last healers, Holy Priest, which didn't really receive that much of changes. Like I said before, the golden trait is very good. The tier 20 set is also very good. So I feel with tier 20, Holy Priests are going to do much better. But I feel that this priest are going to be like a much better alternative for a 5-man scenario than a Holy Priest. Of course, this is talking about really high mythic plus keys. Anything below like 15 right now, anything below like 15 can be done in any class or can be achieved moderately successfully with any of the healing classes. But when you're pushing for really high keys, things like Battle Reses, things like Slow Stones, Ursoc Vortexes from Druids, it can become really huge, like a pushback in Necrotic when you can push back mobs. These become bigger advantages to your class than having higher HPS or higher burst HPS or movement while healing. Utility is 50-50 to healing. So having a lot of utility is what makes your class in 5-mans really good. So right now I would have to rank the top tiers, would still be Paladin, Resto Druid, and I'm going to say that this priest is going to be somewhere in there. I can't wait to see the changes. I can't wait to see how this priest are going to perform in the Mythic Plus changes. Please let me know how you feel about these changes to your class. If you play a different healer, if you have a different opinion, leave a comment below and tell me how you doing your mythic keys and how much success you had and how you feel about the changes in 7.25. And again, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.